Hi, and welcome back. In this video, we will cover the sprint planning meeting. The sprint planning is all about planning the work for our upcoming sprint. The participants of that sprint planning meeting are the product owner, the developers, and you as a Scrum Master. It doesn't hurt to invite stakeholders, but only if they behave well. So if they start to challenge the priority that the product owner and developers agreed to in the product backlog refinement, you as a Scrum Master should interrupt them and tell them that this is not the place to do that. The time box for the sprint planning meeting is 8 hours for a 4-week sprint, and usually proportionally less. So if you have a 2-week sprint, the time box is in most cases around 4 hours. Time box always means the maximum amount of time that we dedicate for these events. How do we prepare for the sprint planning meeting? Actually, the best way is to have a great product backlog refinement, which results in a ready product backlog. Now we can move into the sprint planning itself. The sprint planning is divided into 3 steps. The first step is all about the why, the second about the what, and the third about the how. The why of the sprint planning results in the sprint goal, which in the Scrum Guide is referred to as a commitment to one of the artifacts, being the sprint backlog. The why gives us the purpose of the sprint, the outcome that we want to achieve for our customers, not the output, which means not the number of items that we deliver. The second part, the what, is all about which items are we going to select from the product backlog into the sprint backlog. When I say we, I mean the developers, because it is their decision-making authority how much work they believe can be done within one sprint. The last step of the sprint planning is the how. This is the technical discussion between the developers where they identify and create a shared understanding on how they want to approach the work that they have selected to deliver in this particular sprint. As a product owner, it always makes sense to be part of the first and the second step. The third step, any product owner can skip. But my recommendation is to be close by, to not jump on the next plane and leave the team. Because out of that how discussion, the team might get to a lot of what questions. Finally, once you've done the actual sprint planning, there might be some follow-up work. Again, it could be checking for feedback from some of your stakeholders, but even informing your stakeholders which items were selected by the developers can be an actual work that you do after the sprint planning meeting itself is done. I hope this video gave you a good understanding of what sprint planning is, how it is conducted, and how you as a Scrum Master can help your team conduct a good sprint planning.